you can get these 3 things right, your grades will skyrocket and studying will finally feel easy. So in this video, I'm going to take the last 6 years of researching how studying actually works and condense it into a 3-part framework that I would follow if I became a student completely from scratch today. So there are 3 levels to this framework. If you just became a university student, then you're gonna start at level 1. Level 1 is get going. This is like your first semester. When you're starting uni with no experience, first you have to see whether the old study method that you used for high school is still sufficient or not. So I would just go to classes as normal, focus on making friends because that can massively boost the fun and motivation that you have. And at this point you may want to try apps like Notion to organize yourself a little bit. I put the Notion templates that worked well for me in the description, which you can download. So from this semester, I would get insight into whether the old study method that I used was still effective or not. And I would see if there were any other problems. This gives you a starting point and it shows you which problems you have ahead of you. Once the first semester is over, you face your first choice. Do you want a casual relationship with studying or a serious one? Casual is I'll study when I feel like it, and serious would be I'm committed to this. So we take a look at our first semester, and if it did not return the grades that we wanted, it means that we need to change our study method. You can't use a method that didn't work previously and then expect it to work the next time. Definition of insanity. So if I were studying today, I would commit to studying seriously and be ready to change. And once you make that decision, you go ahead to level 2. Get good. Actually get good enough. Here, you break down everything you thought you knew about studying and build it properly from the ground up. We've never been taught by school on how to study properly, so there are a lot of misconceptions. Writing notes in lectures? Not really effective for studying the material. So I would look at the first semester and see what didn't go well. And then watch 3 good YouTube videos for each point. It's important here to learn the principles of studying. And I'll tell you 3 important principles for the equation of getting a good grade. First, active recall. Making your brain work for the information with something like flashcards is the most effective way to study it and be able to write it down later during the exam. Second, understand the forgetting curve. The more you repeat the material, the harder it will be to forget it. So combining this with active recall multiplies your grade. The third important principle is not really about studying itself, but getting yourself to study. So this principle is about understanding dopamine and motivation. Instead of fighting against your brain, you have to work with it. Motivation does not appear randomly, but it's driven by dopamine and other processes. If you understand this, you can use it to your advantage. So add more dopamine to studying by using a habit tracker or listening to music, and reduce the dopamine in your distractions. For example, with your phone, you can put it in grayscale mode. This is the core equation to doing well on exams. Getting yourself to do the active recall multiple times guarantees that the information will stay in your brain. Now you know what works. The last level is learning how to make it work for you. The main theme here is experiment. You have a list of effective study techniques, and now it's time for you to try them all out. This is not only limited to study techniques, but also everything around it. Go to different spots to study, for example. Try different study schedules. Create your own habits and routines. And at this stage, it's important to let go of self-limiting beliefs. So phrases such as, I can't study in the afternoon, I can only study at night. People often think that these beliefs are due to a character trait, but for the large majority of them, it is your environment. The thing here is, maybe you have a lot of distractions during the afternoon, and these distractions go away at night. That's why it's only hard for you to study in the afternoon. The better solution could be to try to remove these distractions one by one, instead of just trying to force yourself to study at night. So believing that you were born with these traits makes you believe that you can't really do anything about it. And this not only keeps you from trying to change it, it also makes you feel worse because you think that something is fundamentally flawed with yourself. But I can safely say that for 90% of you watching, your brain works exactly as it should be. Procrastination, laziness, doom scrolling, these are built into us through thousands of years of evolution. Because it prioritized surviving right now instead of focusing on some long-term goals. Even the best students aren't immune to these things. They've just learned to change their environment in such a way that it's hard to engage with it. I also struggled a lot at first, but after watching a ton of videos on how to study and reading books about it, I finally understood how studying really works. And I indeed saw that there were so many things that I thought were studying but weren't effective at all. And life got so much easier. Better grades, more confidence, and life was also just more chill. I started Studico so I could give people the help that I needed back then, without having to pay 300 euros. My coaching sessions are way cheaper so more students can access them. Right now, because I'm building reviews and refining what I teach, you can join my Discord server and get a free 30-minute consultation call. We just get in a call, we look at your study problems and map out exactly what you need. After that, if you want more help, sessions are 20 euros each, or you can just take the plan and move on your own, no strings attached. Link is in the description. Join our Discord and let's get you ready to ace your exams.